Dear listener, ClockTower is intended for mature audiences and might be inappropriate or possibly triggering to some. Many of the themes and events in ClockTower are inspired by weird fiction as well as similar concepts, which means the show can get dark.
If that isn't something you enjoy, please listen at your own discretion. We here at the ClockTower care about you, so please put your mental health first. Our show will be here when you're ready.
Welcome to another episode of ClockTower, a D&D 5e experience. For those of you familiar with 5th edition, please try to keep in mind that all of our players are playing a custom class called the ClockTower Agent. We also play with a lot of house rules in our game that we as a group collectively enjoy. We explain these rules as they come up, so if you're just joining us, you may need to listen to previous episodes to clear up any confusion. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to the ClockTower. The glowing light at the center of the gray city continues to pulse rhythmically, and we see its light reflected in Sam's eyes as he stares at it with an all-encompassing gaze. It seems to call out with harmonic-like whispers and strange, lilting tunes that seem to pull him step by step closer to it. So much so that as he slowly walks towards it, he seems to ignore any sort of calls from his fellow agent about getting closer and closer to the light.
Would I see Sam slowly approaching?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna look at him, open up my pocket watch. How much time do we have?
Well, you guys hustled over here this time, so you've got it's on 6 right now.
He's gonna be fine. I'm gonna close my pocket watch, turn around to the big building behind me, and start walking in, or kind of running in to see what's going on in there, because we got 6 minutes. I gotta figure something out, because he's not gonna get through that.
All right, so you start running into the building, same one that Yeager went into?
Yes.
All right, you start running in. Raegan, what about you?
I am watching Sam.
All right. Are you watching Sam, or are you watching the light?
I am watching the space in between Sam and the light slowly close in and waiting for an opportunity.
All right. Sam, nobody seems to be stopping you or elsewise even any sort of connection with you other than you trying to connect with this light.
That's okay. Sam's gonna kind of, again, step up to it and stop again, kind of taking in how rhythmic it all is. Kind of trace his hands over, not the orb itself, but kind of the pieces around the orb. Kind of mutter himself, how do you work? Let me get you working again. I'm trying to roll an investigation check to see how maybe it could fit together, given the chance.
Roll.
It is an 11 for investigation.
You think, however, this machine used to work, it doesn't anymore. The parts of the machine that used to contain the light by moving in a very intricate pattern around the light itself, the only thing moving them now is the light itself. The only thing powering this part of the machine is the light that it was originally created to contain. Or created to generate, you're not sure. But other than that, you can't figure out anything about the light other than it feels welcoming.
Sam again is gonna kind of try and take his eyes off it just quickly, kind of glance around, see if anyone else is around.
The streets seem empty except for Raegan, standing a small distance behind you. I imagine staring kind of with the same sort of spaced out look that you had not moments ago.
You see it too, don't you?
I don't know what you mean.
Sure. That's okay. I turns to look back at the orb. I finally just have something I can do right. And I don't know about you, but I want to do that again.
Felt good to have purpose. To know something.
other than walking towards a tower and then getting to that tower and not knowing why you're there. Yeah, it feels good to do something besides killing creatures we don't know about or shooting people we haven't talked to.
Yeah. I understand.
So then you will understand when I do this. And Sam's gonna reach out to try and touch the orb.
You do. And in a flash, in a moment, you're gone. Almost as if Sam glows in a white light for a moment, and then anything that was left of Sam is just an outline of ash that blows away in the wind. Just gone.
I'm gonna go closer to the orb
All right.
and look around it.
You see the same sort of mechanical parts of it moving around that you did previously, and it's same sort of rhythmic, almost heartbeat of a pulse that it grows, shrinks slightly.
I go to touch it, but I stop right before touching it.
You definitely feel like you're... I almost want to say like you can feel the static from it, like the pull of it is almost like the light is almost arcing like one of those Tesla balls to the palm of your hand, but it's not quite touching you.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look at my watch.
At this point, after you and Sam had your conversation and Rok ran off, you probably have like a minute to 2 minutes left.
I'm gonna touch it.
A flash of light encompassing you, and Raegan, too, is gone. Yeager and Rok. Yeager, you are staring at a safe, puzzled on what the combination might be.
Does it have a lever?
It actually has a keypad that has letters on it. A through B, like a keyboard, almost.
I look over. Is there a lever to it, or is it just the keypad?
When you enter the password right, it will pop open.
Is there a desk in the room? Maybe like
So,
to go with the locker?
think about an office where if all the wood that was in it suddenly got turned to ash, there wouldn't be a ton of stuff around. You could try and sift through a lot of the ash to find anything that might maybe have survived.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, roll investigation.
Natural 20.
Well, I'll be damned.
All right. So, you manage to sift through the dust, and as you do so, you see Rok kind of like run into the room behind you and see you crouch down as your hand slowly pulls out of a small pile of ash what looks like a tape recorder.
I hit play.
It's been 6 months since the stranger came and told us of his invention. Of course, as one of the most influential leaders of one of the most powerful cities in all of the country, one of the strongest nations in all of the world, I was skeptical. For a long time, we had tried to look into the possibility of there being other worlds beyond ours, other planes of existence, other forms of existence, but we never thought, not even once, that we ourselves could achieve a new form of existence. The stranger showed us a new possibility. And what kind of a leader would I be to reject his gift of a new future? And it ends.
Hey, Yeager, I don't know about you, but we are running out of time.
I know. I found what we need.
What is it?
It's in here. I just point at I just nod over to the safe.
I'm assuming my eyes just fixate on the safe.
You look over to the safe, and when you see it, it's like, have you ever had that feeling when you walk into a room and you forget what you were supposed to do there? And you know you were supposed to do something, but you can't for the life of you remember what it was? And then you have that realizing clarity when you do remember what you were here to do. It's like that, but you still don't remember what you're here to do. You just know whatever it is in that safe.
I know whatever it is in that safe.
You know for a fact whatever you came here to do is in that safe.
All right, well, I'm going to reach for my sword.
Okay.
I was gonna check something.
Okay.
When someone pushes buttons, they don't really leave oils from their fingers on it.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of the buttons seem to be have more ash stuck to them than others?
Roll an investigation check. That's a great idea.
Because I'm pretty sure the finger oil becomes ash at this point too. Investigation 10.
Not the whole thing's covered in ash. You had to like wipe it off to even see what it was.
Yeah. Shoot. Get it.
So we need to get that thing open?
You have to get it open.
All right, well,
Cut it.
plan B. If there's sides in the safe, my ClockTower weapon's like it's basically any two-handed thing it'll kind of morph into, right? Either I'm gonna try to kind of put it into like a slit in the safe and try to like pressurize it open, kind of like pushing it so that it pops up, or I'm literally just gonna big two hammer it and just come down crashing
Roll
on it.
a strength check.
Let's go, +2 because I'm proficient. Oh, that's a strength check. Never mind, just a +0. I got a 4.
You try and it does not budge. And you try for a long time until suddenly both of you are consumed by a bright white light that as you're like, almost got it, it just goes and washes over you. And you feel that feeling again. That same intoxicating, all-encompassing feeling. Except with the knowledge that you two have about it now, you try, both of you, to hold on to who you are, to not get lost in that feeling like you did before. And in so doing, all you're met with is pain. And then, you wake up in the clock tower.
Oh, that was worse. Was that worse for you?
And for the two of you, it is not the light that caused you any form of pain, it's the waking up. And being ripped from it because the two of you were part of the light for 2 years. Well, Sam, 3. When you wake up, you have almost forgotten where this place is and who you are completely. But as you're sitting on the couch, all of your memories come rushing back to you. And Raegan, you're having an easier time with it than Sam is. Sam, you feel right now at this moment like you identified more being that light than you do being Sam.
It's so cold in this room.
All right, Yeager, we know what we got to do.
Yeah.
We know where we're going. I'm going to go to the mirror. I know, it sucks. We don't have to do it again. We just need to get that thing open. All right?
Yeah.
You coming?
Yeah, we have to. Let's go.
With purpose, the two of them just like start setting to work, and you guys are like sitting on the couch, right? Like kind of stunned as they're moving around, like what is happening? And like imagine if like listening to language was something you hadn't heard for 2 years. They're talking, you're understanding everything they're saying, and it's like riding a bike, but it's still shocking.
What? Sam stops, kind of surprised at hearing his own voice.
Yeah.
In 3 years. Was it the same for you?
It was good.
Yeah. Raegan, right?
Sam,
I think. Should we go?
I think so.
After you.
I'm gonna slowly get up and walk towards the mirror, hesitating to go through.
All right. And with a great amount of hesitation, the two of you walk through the mirror. And like every other time before, even when people come out of the mirror at different times, you all appear in the world at the same exact time. As you all get there, Rok and Yeager march off as fast as they can, running with purpose, knowing exactly where they're going, moving. And the two of you are standing in the gray powder.
Sam's kind of like feeling the powder on his skin and like rubbing it in between his fingers.
Even worse is that like you can add on the 2 years you spent as the light to knowing even more about this city. Like the buildings around here don't feel like abandoned buildings, they feel like an abandoned home. Because you weren't Sam or Raegan for those 2 or 3 years. You were everyone in this city and everyone in this world.
This feels like walking up to your own gravestone.
Yeager and Rok. You two, with purpose, move past and try not to look at the light at all because that thing is awful. And as you move through the main building, you march your way all the way to the back room and get up to that same locker.
Because it's been 6 months. 6 months since he met this stranger. Whoever made that fucking thing.
Let me ask, was there anything specific that the man on the tape recorder said besides a date that would fit this key code? Would I have actually overheard the tape recording?
A new form of existence. The stranger showed us a new possibility. And what kind of a leader would I be to reject his gift of a new future?
A new future?
Try it.
So, Rok, you dust all of the ash and then, like, kind of try to get it off your hand for a second and then slowly press on all the keys and you type out a new future and press enter. And a small green light lights up on the side of the safe.
I punch Rok on the shoulders, fuck you.
And it pops open.
Okay. See what
All
this is all about.
I look inside.
Inside, there's a lot of ash. Seems like this would be a place to keep documents and things. You find like a few pieces of jewelry. The one thing that stands out most odd to you is a small baseball-sized globe.
I go to pick it up and kind of just like stand up with Yeager, put it in my left hand, and I open my pocket watch just to check the time.
The time, because you guys did that in record time, is like 9 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And as you are holding that globe, you have a realization and a responsibility. You know with the utmost certainty, feeling a sort of cold chill and at the same time a swirling warmth from within the orb that is at its core a small light that is growing ever more dim. The world itself seems fragile. The globe itself seems fragile, like you could crush it in your hand. But something not in your mind, but from somewhere else, gives you the feeling that by crushing this globe, you're destroying this world.
I'm going to look at Yeager.
You also have no idea how you would explain that to another person without sounding like a complete insane person.
I'm going to look at Yeager, hoping he reads my eyes more than anything else.
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, I was like, it's a lot to read. I rolled a 1.
That tracks.
He looks horrified and confused and excited. It's the weirdest mix of emotions you've ever seen on somebody's face, and you have no idea what it is he's actually feeling.
Rok, are you all right?
I know what our mission is.
What's the orb?
It's why we're here. And I'm gonna crush the orb.
Sam and Raegan, as you guys are walking again towards the light in the city, feeling and knowing what that light is now, truly, all of a sudden, you hear the chime of a clock tower in the distance. And like a wave crashes over both of you, crashes over Rok and Yeager. You all wake up on the couch, not knowing why, because you didn't run out of time. And as you look on the shelf, you see a small broken globe next to your other 2 items that sit on that shelf. And you don't know what it means.
Well, that job's done.
Finally.
Couldn't even explain to you what I felt in that moment if I tried, man. But the best way I can encompass it is that orb was the mission. And it was like a mercy killing.
The orb was dead anyway. That place was dead. There was nothing to...
It wasn't dead.
What are you talking about?
There was life in that orb.
There was pain in that orb.
You
That's all
didn't feel it.
was.
No, it was warmth.
We felt very different warmths. That was pain incarnate. I felt like my entire bone marrow just turned to ash as
felt
everything else did.
I felt my entire being fighting against whatever was trying to crush it.
Yeah, we did a mercy killing. That was that mission.
3 years.
3 years of what? What are you
I
talking
spent
about?
3 years in that orb.
What?
In
What?
that light and that warmth.
3 years? What are you talking? We died and came back.
We were in there for a minute.
I know it was hell. I didn't want to come back.
I have no... What?
I don't know what to say to this.
Look, that was the mission that it sent us on. We did the mission.
That's our job. The world was dead. It was ash
Ash,
and concrete.
Only the world around it.
I'm so lost.
Wait. You liked the light?
You liked that pain?
It was...
The complete loss of self?
it broke us.
It wasn't a loss of self, it was a gaining of a community.
Rock's just gonna look at Yeager with like the look of someone who just doesn't understand.
Yeager looks like you with disgust on his face. Actual, legitimate. It's almost hard to describe, but the amount of pure disdain is palpable.
And as they're looking at each other, Sam and Raegan, you both looking at that orb and listening to the things that Rok had said, especially the statement that it was a mercy killing, realize what they did. That world, maybe even the whole universe that surrounded it. Raegan, again, you look back to the hourglass and realize that it's gone. That light, whatever it was, is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Wherever it existed previously has been cleared.
You just put a whole world to death.
Okay, I need
That's
to
what we are.
I need to understand
We're
something.
executioners.
That world was dead.
Okay, wait. Yeager, there's something I'm not getting. We felt pain, loss, and suffering, right?
Yes.
Twice, maybe 3 times.
I don't remember. I try to forget now.
What did you guys feel?
And as you guys try to think back as to what it really felt like, all of those memories that were associated with that light, that like longing to do it again, is slowly starting to fade away. As if whatever connection the light had to you and you to it doesn't exist anymore, just as the light doesn't exist anymore. For better or for worse, you can never go back there.
I don't know, Raegan. It was a purpose.
Yeah, it felt like something that you could finally understand.
Especially after all of this.
I don't understand.
I understand perfectly. They are weak. They can't take it. Sure, I'm afraid. You could say I'm a coward. I don't like doing what we have to do. But I do realize the necessity. The first word, we saved a kingdom. The second, we saved hundreds, thousands of lives on that space station. And now, we clean up what's left. That's a perfectly good job.
Yeager, I agree with you that we saved a kingdom. We saved innocent lives on a space station. We cleaned up what seemed to be a dead world, but it didn't seem to be dead.
What was the ash?
That's not what I think they're saying.
A soul is a soul. Is that not what we said before?
Maybe there was something in that light we couldn't see. All right, I'm all for saving a kingdom, saving a space station. I'm all for doing those things, even cleaning up a world that may need to not exist, but there might have still been something there.
Because who are we to decide what a soul is?
If I don't have control of who I am, of what I can do and think, there's no point to it.
And as soon as I held that orb, all I could feel was that it was what I needed to do. It was like that was my entire reason for not only being there, but for existing in that moment. I couldn't even explain it to Yeager. He was standing right next to me. It felt like that was the only action I could take.
It was purpose. That's what you felt.
Seems we found it in different ways.
Seems so.
And you're the odd one out, Yeager.
No. I feel like I accomplished something.
You certainly have in my eyes.
Good. And Yeager goes to walk and hit the clock.
So the three of you watch Yeager. He stands up, his expression shadowed by his hat, as he marches to the clock face and with one hand touches it, beginning the next mission. Hey, Ellie again. Thank you for listening. As always, I'd like to thank our producer, Who's, at who's.music. And I would also like to thank our sponsor, Alpha Lupine Images, for donating the equipment to help us make more content with better quality. Thank you to Darbii, Cal, Parker, and Trent for their great performances. Thank you for listening. If you want to know anything else about ClockTower, like where to contact us, other episodes and projects, or maybe you just want to download the ClockTower class and use it in your own games, all of that information and more can be found on our website, clocktoweragent.com. We release bi-weekly, so episode 8 will be out on all platforms on Friday, October 2nd. Until then, time's ticking. See you in the Clock Tower.